So a little seemingly random video. Hello there everyone. This is not a video in the series for the 100 portraits challenge per se, although this one I mentioned in the previous video is for the 100 portraits challenge, which I was not able to continue properly the past couple of days due to time restrictions. And today, when I found a little bit of time, a few minutes here and there to paint, I was able to enhance the background a little bit. I'm not sure if it's visible, very visible in this format. I hope you can see it, it's not too much of a glare, I hope. So I changed the colors a little bit in the background here and added more snow and just tweaked it a little bit, right? And played a little bit around with the greens here and there and changed his facial features once again, gave him some emerald greenish piercing glance, and not done of course, yeah. And I gave him this wizard head, finally a wizard head, right? Because I claimed that he is a wizard, but he looked more like a gnome or some, yeah, strange looking wanderer. Anyway, without judgment, what I want to actually show you is a little handy trick. It's nothing fancy, pretty obvious, but a clamp can be super helpful when you're painting. As you can see here at the bottom of the easel, I attached the color palette. So it's a wooden color palette, and I attached it at the bottom of the easel with two clamps. Why? Because I didn't want to ruin the easel with screwing this in and then having it mounted there forever, but just temporarily if I want to take it off. If you want to clean it, theoretically clean it, I'm probably not going to clean this, I'm just going to let this dry and just put the paint on top of this dried layer. But these are very handy, you can find them in any hardware store really for a few bucks, and that really helps. Because why would you want to attach the color palette next to the painting or close to the painting? Well, obviously the best version would be, the best way would be to have it right next to the painting, so you don't have to even extend your arm more than this, right? But this is also okay because I don't have anything in the back here to attach. There's just this rod to extend, this wooden rod, but there's nothing really where I can attach the clamps to. So why would you want that? First, biggest advantage I would say is because you don't have to jump with your eyes constantly, right? Sure, you want to get some distance. This is one of those primary rules of painting, is to get some distance from the painting. So every time you start to become a little bit too zoned in, a little bit too close, you get too close-minded also when you're constantly fixated upon one point, and you get right, you get very close to the painting at some point. If you paint from farther away, sure, that works. In some areas that works with the block out, of course, but as soon as you add a little bit more detail, of course you automatically also get closer to the painting to see it better, naturally. And with this, you kind of help yourself staying in the flow. If you don't have to, what I also did, it's a rookie mistake, but sometimes it doesn't work in another way. So when you cannot mount the palette onto your easel or have it very in close range, but on some table in the distance, I also did that, is every time you put the brush away, you have to take a step to the side, dip in, and then you get back to the easel. Can be helpful. Also, you add some motion, some movement into your daily routine, so maybe a health benefit. But besides that, it kind of breaks the flow. I don't know how to explain it, but what it really does is, like, if you mix and you are very much engaged with the process of mixing and with the process of applying certain colors, and you are very much not in your head, but you're more on the canvas. Your consciousness is projected onto the canvas, and you're just so connected with the process at hand that you want to kind of forget about these arbitrary movements, right? You don't want to think of, okay, now I have to step away and then dab there, and then you stretch your arm a little bit too much, and I don't know, maybe already forgot when you walk back what zone you actually wanted to enhance or wanted to change or wanted to increase the saturation or something like that. So this is a good little tip. It's very obvious again, but I would recommend it to have the palette as close to your painting as possible. And then, of course, the primary thing that you still want to do is, independent of that, is as soon as you get too close for too long, like if it's more than 10 minutes and you just like this, first of all, not good for the eyesight, obviously, but second of all, you also lose kind of your natural way of judging things, or your perception gets a little bit distorted because you look at the painting and then you only see the mistakes, or you only see what's wrong in a certain area, or you only see what's wrong with the whole thing, basically. So every time this happens, the best advice is probably step away, and not just 1 or 2 steps, but literally like 2 meters if you can. The more, the better, right? The farther away you can, whoops, almost hit. Great, now I have the light in my hand. Here, it deconstructed itself. So, maybe this is better anyway. So as soon as you get too narrowly focused, and as soon as you notice that this narrow focus kind of puts pressure on your own judgment and on your perception, basically, step away. Right? Step away, sit on the couch or something, view it from the distance, maybe don't look at it for a minute at all, close your eyes, just try to focus on something else. And then when you step back to it, maybe it has changed, you know, maybe some element that you didn't like before, all of a sudden you're like, well, it's not too bad, let's just rework this a little bit. Or maybe you all of a sudden see what is the mistake, or what you perceive as a mistake, right? Then you can change it proactively, constructively, without unnecessarily putting pressure and criticism on your shoulders and just being harsh to yourself, right? It's very important, I think, for the creative process to stay self-loving and to stay self-actualizing, instead of creating this detrimental pattern of just saying, oh, this is crap and this is crap and nothing works, and you know, just being super rigid and super, yeah, almost hateful with yourself and with the process. It takes the joy, obviously it takes the joy out of the process, but it also, I would say, does not do any good for the end result. Even if there's great artists out there I know who are extremely perfectionistic to the point where they only see the mistakes in their work, even though they look perfect on the outside. It's not healthy, just mentally, emotionally, and all these things, right? In the past, I had it very strongly with certain things, different projects, short films that I made, music, all kinds of other stuff, books that I wrote, articles, etc. Even drawing and painting, although of course I'm learning, right? I had to pick up the brush again, or I had to pick up the brush for the first time a few years ago, or actually 1.5 years ago, I would say. It's when I started with painting with oil. Before that, drawing was always kind of there a little bit, but never, you know, like in a serious manner. It was always very playful. And yeah, don't be too harsh to yourself. I think that's one of the primary rules to stepping away from the canvas, getting some distance, and also attaching your palette to the easel or next to the painting. And then I wanted to show you this once again, this quirky character. I don't know if you've seen it already in a short. This kind of plays into this painting right here. I don't know if you can see here. If you can see, there's some similarity with the level of quirkiness or strangeness in expression. He does not have that strange expression perhaps, but he's actually the wizard, Oricos, who brings this guy, Elmond, and I think I call her Anthuria, together. So in some metaphysical sense, you could say he's the wizard that sends out this call, this spell, that brings those two souls, those two beings, those two characters together. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. This is purely alla prima. This was done in one session. I'll definitely continue these smaller ones as well, and also some dedications, some tributes to people that I love, that I admire, that I feel have a big heart and that have a big purpose and role in this life, and that send out a lot of light and love. That's definitely something I want to continue to give a tribute to real people that I know and love, but also to create these fictitious portraits is so much fun. So anyway, just a little update. and see you soon.